And welcome to another episode of Common Chaos Live with me, Christian Rauchenwald, on this sunny Tuesday afternoon, or Tuesday, yeah, Tuesday. I hope you all had a great start into the new week. As always, before we jump into it, let's get the usual disclaimer out of the way. Everything that I share in this live stream / video is my personal opinion and in no way financial or professional advice of any kind. You should always do your own research, consult certified professionals, draw your own conclusions, and make your own decisions. With that said, as you know, Common Chaos Live means I'll take the time to try to answer all the questions that you have, share some new things with you that I discovered since the last stream. And on top of that, we're going to look into the comments that other people have or questions that other people leave in the comments on my YouTube videos to hopefully provide you with all the answers that you're looking for. Now, with that, we'll switch here. I actually just realized I forgot to set up Let's View. So 1 second. I'm gonna finish that real quick so that if needed, I can also share my phone screen with you guys. So, okay, that's working. So that we move to the side. Hi, Yenkape. I'm not sure if I recall it correctly, but Salamat. I think that was the right one. I could also, the only thing that I for sure recall is some insults, which I'm not gonna say in Tagalog here on the stream or in any other language for that matter. Yeah, as you can already see, the first thing I wanted to share today, there's actually not that many things that I wanted to share today that we can already unsave, yeah. And that we can also already unsave, that we all covered. So yeah. But what I wanted to share is apparently Binance is having a poll. So if you log into your Binance account, Richard Heide, greetings to Barbados from Germany. It's nice to see that we are all international here. So, but if you log into your Binance account, if you have one, Binance US is not supported, but then somewhere in the community, so let's see, blah, blah, blah. Binance account and won't yes, yeah. So does it mention can't vote from the UK? So Binance Square, that's actually the link. Okay, so here you have to have vote for Pi network listing on Binance. Yeah, sharing the link. So you have to have at least $5 worth of crypto in your Binance account to be eligible to vote here. Yeah. And the latest thing that I noticed or that I saw was basically that around 80% of people voted yes. This is not a guarantee that Binance will list Pi, because obviously it also depends on Binance actually applying for KYB. I think it's still around 80%, yeah. So can we sort the comments by, actually sort by new, yeah. So sort by new. And so basically whatever the first picture is that shows up will be the latest. So 85%. Although that also says from 13 hours ago. Yeah. So I don't see it here. Can I just see few results? Yeah, my account is not eligible because I don't use Binance, so I don't have a balance there. So yeah. So obviously, yeah, then I would need to log in. I don't want to log in right now. Yeah. So, well, the comments are a little bit critical, but from the screenshots that we saw, the votes are towards yes. Either way, we'll have to wait and see. The poll that was mentioned or not, vote period from the 17th till the 27th. So it anyway will not be listed on the 20th, if at all. So the poll basically still goes 9 days. And then after those 9 days are up, then maybe Binance will then say they will list it or not. Which again would require them to apply and complete the KYB, so know your business verification with Pi Network. And yeah, so don't get your hopes up too far. But if you have a Binance account and you happen to have $5 balance, check the link that I shared. So again, you can see it here, that message here, to actually to actually leave your vote for yes, or if you don't want it on Binance, vote for no. And yeah, that's one thing I wanted to share. Now, can go back here, can remove this. And with that, what else do we have for today? There was actually nothing to share from here. For everyone that's here to figure out which exchanges are listing Pi Network, what's the potential price gonna be, and all that other stuff, please check out either yesterday's episode or Friday's episode of the stream, because there we covered those topics extensively. And I think yesterday I also shared a list to a Reddit post that contains an updated list of exchanges, and if they are available to US users, to European users, and so on. So yeah, so check that out. Hi, Bio. So Bio is here to keep law and order in the chat, among other things. Yeah, and yeah, with that, we're gonna look at the latest stats. So quickly, we see that basically so far only 3 exchange wallets, at least according to explorepi.info, so which basically uses the data from the Block Explorer and prepares it in some better to use or easier to understand way. So only 3 exchanges so far have their own wallets and balance in there. You can see that the biggest wallet is OKX, the first ones that announced the listing and allowed deposits with almost 70 million Pi, followed by BitGet with 11 million so far, and followed by Gate.io, which is the exchange that should work for US users. Irina also again shared the link to the post about the exchanges. And yes, the room policeman, exactly. And so far out of the 1-point-something billion Pi tokens that are in circulation, only 87 million have been deposited on exchanges. It remains to be seen how many more get deposited within the next 2 days, but there's not going to be a lot of circulating supply if we take it from here. The question is how many people are actually going to buy Pi coins on the launch day. So will those 70 million, 80 million, or maybe till the 20th, let's say 100 million Pi that will be circulating, will they be enough or more than enough in quotes of sell orders to overwhelm whatever amount of users or people decide to invest in the token? It's going to be interesting to see. I'm super excited. I don't have a clear expectations. I'm honestly going to say it can go either way. We asked the 8-ball yesterday if Pi will be a success, and it says it is a certainty, or it is certain. So let's see if the 8-ball is right. There is a live stream scheduled on the main channel. So I will live stream on Thursday when the half an hour before the exchange listing, and then we will probably use OKX or any other exchange that I have an account for, and can see the Pi token pair to follow along for the first half hour to first 2 hours of trading, to see or to record that historical event. Anyway, to actually for today get a little bit more done than just talk about Pi, we're going to look into our comments. Unfortunately, there's always something, yeah. Unfortunately, Agora Pulse is having a little bit of a stroke in terms of loading some of the comments. So I still can see the comment. However, I cannot see right now which video it was left on, and I cannot see so which video it was left on, and I cannot write a reply right now, which I anyway don't do during the stream. Marko Miklic, welcome. So did I miss your hi? No, you're saying hi here. So yeah, great to have you back again. Yeah, so which means it's going to be challenging for some of the comments that are not loading to actually know the full contents and provide an answer. But I still hope that there are a few comments among the ones that we're looking at that will also provide you with some additional information and upside. So obviously, without context of the video, it's hard to say what the comment relates to, Pi Network versus Alpha Network. I think there is yeah, there is not much in common between those projects. I'm going to share my phone screen. So obviously we all covered or discussed Pi Network in detail already. So Pi Network has its own blockchain. It has a blockchain explorer. It has a node software. It is used in exchanges, or not exchanges. It's going to be listed on exchanges. So you have proof that it's a real cryptocurrency running on a real blockchain. And there have been already thousands of transactions. So barter transactions, people buying and selling goods among each other, paying with Pi, to prove that it's an accepted form of payments and so on. Yeah. Whereas Alpha Network has an app that offers you with alpha auctions. So Alpha Network started off by having a supply of 500 million that should be fixed, and then later got changed to a floating or adjustable supply. So theoretically, they just removed their supply limit. They claimed it's a token running on a blockchain, but the only proof of that, in quotes, is the blockchain explorer in the app, without any nodes that are running anywhere, without any kind of proof that there is so that there is a real blockchain, other than, so it looks more like there's just some random database running behind it, so not a blockchain and so on. So there's a lot of things with Alpha Network that made it look not legit. To add on top of that, they actually started to say they now have an enclosed mainnet and a seed phrase, so a real wallet and a real blockchain or token on a blockchain, but only for users that get an invitation, which I didn't get. So, which kind of points out that what they claim here to be a blockchain is not a blockchain. But despite all the negative aspects of Alpha Network, there are actually, first of all, there's the Alpha Exchange, which is just full of sell pressure. But there are also the alpha auctions where I could now join this one, and then I can bid. Do I have enough? Yeah. So now I'm having the highest bid. And if nobody outbids me within the next 11 hours, I would actually receive 40 USDT, and those auctions are real. Yeah. So, and you get them into your Alpha Network account, and you can then on the Alpha Exchange website from your profile use the key manager to log in on the website, and there you can then link or basically withdraw it to your Ethereum wallet. So you get USDT on the Ethereum blockchain. So while Pi Network is the project that made the most progress, although slow and steady, but they made the most progress and has a lot of proof that it's a legitimate blockchain and whatnot and so on, yeah, Alpha Network is like in between a complete waste of time and a app that just generates ad revenue for the creators. And on the other hand, actually having some legit aspects like the alpha auctions, where if you're patient enough to actually win the auctions, you can walk away and exchange your alpha coins that you earn by pressing the button once per day for USDT. Yeah, so that about, let's circle back here about the first comment here that we had, Pi Network versus Alpha Network. Yeah, so Gibby, thanks for asking what's my expectation about the price. I don't have any, as I shared earlier. I really recommend, if you wanna know more about the upcoming listing and price, yeah, chances, what other people think and so on, check out basically yesterday's episode and the episode of Friday and Thursday last week. There we went into that, but I'm having a hard time every episode basically discussing the same thing and not answering other questions. Yeah, but I don't have a specific price expectations. I believe it can go either way. There's not a lot of circulating supply, so there are less than 100 million so far deposited on the exchanges, but that only means something if there are also people that are willing to buy. Because if nobody would want to buy, so then even 70 million that get sold would drive the price to 0.0 something. Yeah. A good example of that is actually Alpha Network. So if we go to the Alpha Network exchange, you see that you can trade alpha coins on this. You cannot determine your price, so it's not a real exchange, it's just something that determines random values. But you can see what happens when you have 160,000 sell orders and only 1,300 buy orders. It's hard to sell. So if you list 1,000 alpha coin for sale now, which would be then worth what, $1 or so, it probably will take you a year of waiting before you can have that $1 to cash it out. And then considering the blockchain fee, it's not worth it. Yeah. So the big question will be, and nobody can tell you that already, how many people are going to buy? Because even 70 million circulating supply, if there are no buy orders, will cause a chart that looks like this, at least initially. Yeah? So no expectations from my side. Moving on with this, more information is said in yesterday's episode and the episodes from Thursday and Friday. Yeah, Gabriella unfortunately is not with us anymore. Our new moderator is Bio, yeah, so nothing bad happened to Gabriella. It just turned out like she didn't fit the role that we needed as nicely as she could have, or as we thought she should. So we decided to go separate ways, but in yeah, like on good terms. So yeah, so OKX and BitGet available deposit both. Yeah, yeah, liebe Grüße as well, Mr. Anderson. Yeah. And as said, the posted or the link that Irina shared in this message to that Reddit post contains a list of all exchanges, the pairs that are listed, if it works for EU and US and so on. Yeah. Please don't forget. Yeah, exactly. Don't forget you can join our Discord community where we obviously discuss all that stuff all the time, even outside of the streams. The reward for validators will go to transferable balance. How about the rewards for locked up? Plus 500. Yeah, you're misunderstanding the lockup here. I'm sorry to disappoint you. So 1 second, if we switch here and we pi, there we go, pi, and then we go into mainnet and mainnet or configure lockup. Yeah. So the percentage that you see here, you see it's an estimated lockup boost in mining rate. This is not an interest. You don't earn interest on your balance that you lock up. But if you have balanced lockup and I would get a 570% boost, that would be a boost on the base mining rate, yeah, which means you as long as you then still every day press your button, you would earn more extra pi, yeah. But the pi that are locked up, that they don't become more, they don't earn any interest, yeah. That's really important. So this is not a staking. So like you could stake, yeah, like yeah, at most exchanges. And at, I don't know, in liquidity pools and whatnot, where you would either earn interest or a bonus or a share of the fees that users pay or so. This is basically you lock it up and you get, as said, your a higher mining rate. Yeah. In general, as far as the lockup goes, you notice that mine is disabled here. And I believe that right now this is the smart decision because you also have the on-chain lockup. Yeah. So, or mostly because the lockup happens when the coins arrive in your wallet and you don't know, will your coins migrate today, in a week, or in 2 months? Yeah. And so if you pick a longer lockup, then in 2 months, the coins hit your wallet, maybe in 6 months, maybe sooner, maybe later. I don't know. Yeah. And then you might be disappointed that you picked that longer period because you didn't consider that you might have to wait that long. Yeah. So if you pick 0 in the Pi app or a very short lockup, so for example, 2 weeks, yeah, 100% 2 weeks to get at least a small mining boost. And then when the coins end up in your wallet, you can obviously pick the on-chain lockup if you want to, and again, lock them up for 2 weeks, 3 weeks, and so on. Yeah. Yeah, additionally, so that's for people that plan to use Pi. I think that gives you the most flexibility. Yes, you get the smallest mining boost if you only lock them up for 2 weeks at a time. Yeah, and I don't have any spare Pi to lock up. Yeah, but it gives you the most flexibility. If you, however, are like, oh, I don't care, I believe Pi will be a success, I want to get the most out of it, and I don't plan to use or sell any, then go for 100% and 3-year lockup. Because if the project succeed, they should obviously be worth more in 3 years than they will be in the next couple of weeks. But yeah, so much about the lockup. So circling back here. So yeah, I cannot see the full comments, so I cannot answer that. That is just some spam. My Pi is locked till 2027. Yeah. Yeah, that's also something. I don't feel pity that much, yeah, for people that are surprised about the lockup, because obviously, if I share my phone again for a second, so if we go back into the Pi app, every user has to go through the mainnet checklist, yeah, that's part of getting your coins. And when you go through the checklist, you have commit to lockup, and every user confirmed this, that they want to lock it up, yeah, without reading maybe, but they still confirmed it. So if you have your coins locked up till 2027, it's pretty much, unfortunately, on you. I know that sounds rough, yeah, don't take it the wrong way, But look at the bright side, as said. If Pi succeeds, they should be worth much more in 27 than they are now. Yes, it sucks if you have to wait. Just make sure to then update your lockup settings so that the next coins that get migrated in the future don't end up with a 3-year lockup. And look long term and consider, okay, then in 2 years or 3 years from now, depending on if it's 27 or 28, you actually should have more. Or if the project succeeds. And obviously, if the project fails, well, then anyway, maybe, I don't know, maybe the first couple thousand people that cash out walk away with a handful of dollars or so. I'm not saying that I believe it will fail. I'm just pointing out that if the project fails, it doesn't matter if you have it locked up or not, unless you're among the first that cashes out. And if you have it locked up till 27 or 28, then obviously if it fails, nothing changes. You still have nothing. Yeah, like Akashi says, one might get a lot or get nothing. Yeah, and if the project succeeds, it should obviously be worth more then. Yeah, so so that about a lockup. Yeah. Thank you for completing KYZ. Yeah, like that's my big hurdle. Like I feel sad. You know, like I have. So I put a lot of effort into sharing Pi, so creating videos about it, covering the progress, sending out email campaigns, covering it on Discord, and so I actually really spend a lot of time to promote the project, because I think it's like nobody had anything to lose. You know, like you push a button once per day. Yes, you have to pass KYZ, but at the end of the day, there's nothing to lose. You don't have to pay any kind of fee or so, yeah. And I feel really sad when I then look that I theoretically have almost 33,000 referrals and less than 3,000 are active, yeah. So that's like basically 30,000 people that signed up and then lost interest or forgot about it. And that's just going to be so much Pi that I will not get, yeah. And that also those people will miss out, because obviously I get a small referral bonus. But if I'm missing out on, let's say, 3 million Pi, then that means that it's probably 30 million Pi that those 30,000 users are not getting, yeah, which is a pity, yeah. Moving on, blah, blah, blah. We're not here for some mere dollars after 6 years in the project, yeah. I'm gonna say something to that in a second. When the next migration could happen, honestly, no idea. Nobody knows. Yeah, I feel like it makes more, I shared it in one of the last streams, I feel like it makes way more sense to first make sure that more individual users get their first migration than to give more coins to people that already got some, yeah. So I feel like the priority should be migrate more users and make sure that more users basically have their first migration, and then only so there are like slightly more than 10 million migrated users, but there are 17 million KYZ verified or so, if I recall it correctly. So it would make more sense to focus on migrating the next 7 million users. So you have 17 million users in total that can work and use the blockchain, than to focus on getting the first 10 million that got migrated the next coins already. Yeah. So, but no idea, nobody knows. Yeah. Akashi says, but we're not here for some mere dollars after 6 years in the project. Yeah, that's a little bit of a. I think that's a not two-sided sword, but you know, like you have to consider that yes, it's 6 years, but what did you actually do? You pushed the button once per day. So maybe you watched an ad which you could disable. I didn't disable mine, but some people were like, oh, it's just a scam for ad revenue. Then they disabled the ads. Okay, yeah. But what did you invest? You know, you didn't have to pay any money. Social Change, so the company behind Pi Network, has quite a complete and accurate privacy policy. So I'm 99% certain they are not selling any kind of personal data that we are giving them. So where should the value come from? Yeah, which is whether, I'm not saying that it will be worthless. I'm saying where should the value come from? Because just from pushing a button for 6 years, there's no value generated. Yeah, there is ad revenue generated, yes, but that goes to the company, and the company has to pay. They need to pay themselves a salary. They need to pay developers. If you ever worked in IT with bigger project and try to estimate the costs for running servers to basically operate apps that have like millions of users or tens of millions of users, then you can consider how much of that ad revenue went out that way. Yeah. So Pi Network did something that other projects didn't do. They set up an ecosystem, and they even insisted, hey, we need so-called mainnet ready apps. So reasons or apps that we work with Pi in some way to basically provide potential use cases that will cause people to buy Pi coins so that they can then interact with those applications. Yeah. But will any of those apps be a huge success, huge enough to attract other people? Yeah. So it's really hard to say. Honestly, I mean, I can consider technically 3 scenarios. Scenario number 1, Pi fails at launch and doesn't recover from that for whatever reason. Yeah. Scenario number 2, Pi actually is a success from the beginning. So we see more buy orders than sell orders. The price shoots up and stays up with some variance in between. And because the migrations are a steady progress, so there's not like from one day to the other, suddenly billions of more coins in circulation, but it's like we can even see that if we switch back here, explorepi.info, we can see that in the, was it migration? Yeah, so you can see how many unlocks. So you can see that in that month, 500,000 unlock, here, oh, that's users or that's coins. So unlock number, unlock amount. Okay, so there are actually 200 million that unlock in July, 128 million that unlock in August. Yeah, so Bio, please remove the last message from Momosaka. Yeah, so because it's steadily added or steadily released, so from the lockup alone, plus users get migrated and receive the new coins. Thank you very much, sweetie. And therefore, if there is some buy pressure initially, then it's possible that that buy pressure keeps up because the supply is released gradually. So on one hand, by having more users migrated that receive their first initial coins, and on the other hand, where we also can see basically migrate operations. So 1 million so that's that's users. That's not coins, yeah. And do we have, no, there we see lockup periods, yeah. And on the other hand, from the lockups that unlock, yeah. So yeah, Bio, the first one was not necessary, but yeah, anyway, that's great. So option number 1, the project fails. Option number 2, we have buy pressure from the beginning, and it stays that way because of the gradual unlock and gradual migration process. So that slowly adds more supply. And option number 3, the project fails initially. So on the 20th, there are going to be like 80, 90, 100 million Pi for sale, but nobody's going to be willing to pay higher prices for it. I'm not going to say what exactly I consider a higher price. Yeah. So everybody is just willing, either there are not enough buy orders, or the buy orders are for, I don't know, 0.01, 0.001 or something like that. Yeah. And then obviously people would be disappointed because they spent 6 years on it. Yeah. But then, so that would be considered the project fails initially. So doesn't meet the expectations. That's why I don't have expectations. Whatever value we have initially is going to be the value we start from, and that's it. Nothing more, nothing less. And but after that, the ecosystem actually comes up or has 1 or 2 apps that actually attract users, and then suddenly it creates more demand for Pi, and from there then the trajectory goes upwards. Yeah, I mean, those are the 3 scenarios. 2 out of those 3 would be good for us. So either strong launch, strong future, bad launch, strong future, and only 1 scenario is bad for us. It starts with a super low value and it never makes it up from there because the apps that are created for the Pi ecosystem simply don't attract any people and therefore don't provide any incentive to buy Pi coins. Yeah. Anyway, with that, let's try to move on a little bit. Momosaka, the point is, until the 20th, we're still in the enclosed mainnet. So therefore, selling Pi or exchanging it for fiat or other cryptocurrency is a violation of the rules of the enclosed mainnet. Considering also that the majority of scammers out there claim that they buy Pi, or are people that say that they sold for a certain amount without any proof or so, just to then get the next person to ask from whom, to then lure in the next person. Therefore, any messages about selling or buying directly or selling or buying in the past will get deleted. and if they are shared repeatedly, we'll just earn you a ban. It's nothing personal, but until the 20th, we still have rules in place, and we're gonna enforce them in the chat as well. Yeah. New to crypto, does anyone know if you can sell this on Coinbase? No, Coinbase is not listing Pi. But again, if you scroll further up in the chat, you will see the message by Irina that I now cannot find any. Oh God, I'm blind. Irina might share it again, yeah. So with the post on Reddit that mentions all the exchanges and when they plan to list and all the additional information. So Irina will share it in the chat in a second, yeah. We will move on here. Yeah, that's spam. I did my lockup settings more than a year ago and I selected 100% for 6 months. For migration status is pending at sub 9. So is my lockup period already over? Pending period is showing 265 days. No. So the lockup, as we talked about earlier, starts the moment the coins hit your wallet. So if you get them migrated today, the lockup starts today and goes for another 6 months from today. Yeah? It's a pity, yeah, that isn't very, it's mentioned somewhere in the fine print, but that this isn't super clear, you know, in big letters, but yeah, it is like this. Huh? Sorry, also got a question. The Trade Your Pi site, who were the biggest marketplace for Pi, is now putting ads like need 1,000 Pi, DM me, give me your price. Any idea where they are now selling their Pi after all? That's actually interesting, yeah. Yeah, so we already covered that Trade Your Pi is shutting their doors, yeah. So I'm not sure if the website should still be up till the 20th, yeah. They obviously were one of the legit vendors, so selling hardware, software, yeah, pretty much anything you can imagine in exchange for Pi, with yeah, more than 200 reviews on, more than 200 positive reviews on Trustpilot, plus another 200 or so just in reviews on their subreddit. And they actually announced that they will stop working on the 20th, yeah, which surprised me, but the answer to it is actually very simple, because this just means that basically the people that were running Trade Your Pi, when they started almost 2 years ago to say, okay, we are going to sell games and goods in exchange for Pi coins, those are just people that have or had a pile of money and decided that they want to accumulate a decent amount of Pi. Therefore, they said, okay, they believe Pi will be worth more than 25 cents. That's why they offered pretty much everything with an exchange rate of 25 cents roughly. So you bought a game, let's say for $10. So you paid them 250 Pi. And they then used their own money, their $10, to pay for the game and ship it to you or give you the license key or serial or whatever, yeah. And they got 250 Pi more in their wallet. And the fact that they said the moment it's listing on exchanges, they are done, just means that they really just had a pile of money and were willing to put in some effort by setting up Trade Your Pi, their own subreddit, and manufacturing all the transactions simply to accumulate more Pi, because they speculate that it's going to be worth more than 25 cents. Yeah. Now that they are sending out, or that they are posting and saying, hey, if you want 1,000 Pi, we're willing to sell it to you, in quotes. Yeah. I hope they're not selling it before the 20th. I mean, yeah, otherwise that would also be a violation of the rules of the enclosed mainnet. I hope they're not stupid enough to risk getting their entire wallet basically blacklisted, in quotes, because they're impatient. Maybe they are worried about that it might list below 25 cents or so, I don't know. But the fact of the matter is, the reason why they're shutting down is because apparently that was just one or more people with a pile of money that decided they want to get as many Pi as they can. So they decided to sell easy to sell goods, so digital games, digital goods, some physical goods, yeah, to accumulate more Pi. And now that the accumulation phase this way is over, they basically will see on the 20th if their gamble paid off. If Pi launches at $1 and they spend $10,000 of their own money to buy goods for pioneers, then basically those $10,000 that they spent would suddenly be $40,000 worth of Pi. Yeah, if Pi launches at 12.5 cents, that $10,000 that they spent would suddenly be only $5,000. Yeah, if Pi launches at $10, yeah, you get the math. Yeah, so quite surprising. I did not expect that. I really thought that they would keep running the business like this. Yeah. I mean, it's understandable that at some point they would have to sell Pi because they also have to pay for games and license keys and the hardware that they buy. But I actually expected that it will continue and was surprised by them telling that they're shutting down. Yeah. Anyway, I'm starting to lose my voice. We're also at the end, so unfortunately, the speaker hasn't taught us how to log into the old wallet on the date of unlocking the Pi coins herein to get them transferred to the new wallet before the scammers. I'm sorry, but it's literally you go to wallet and it tells you, some things are just, where's the browser? Yeah. I mean, if some things, don't get me wrong, but if some things you cannot figure out on your own, how to log into your old wallet, unlock your Pi wallet. So you enter the passphrase to your old wallet and you press unlock with passphrase. Yeah. If you need somebody to spell that out for you, that I'm really sorry, then I don't know. I know that for some people, all the technical stuff is harder, but if you carefully read what's on the screen in front of you, you will mostly figure those things out yourself. Yeah. So with these numerous cases, the Pi core team should work to automate the unlocking of coins. No. It's human error. Yeah, the numerous cases are people that don't bother to read, that don't pay attention that the passphrase is the only way to unlock a wallet, that then fall for some scam, ad, whatever, don't store their passphrase securely. It's 100% human error, either greed or not bothering to store the passphrase securely, that gets people their wallets cleaned out. Yeah, it's not the core team's fault. It's nobody else's fault. It's 100% human error. Yeah, it's either because you don't store it properly or because you fell for some scam because you were greedy when there is a fake ad telling you can have 300 more Pi, or when somebody claims you can sell, he's gonna buy the coins from you, and then you are, in quotes, pardon that I say it like this, but naive enough or dumb enough to enter your passphrase on some random website because you didn't pay attention to understand that your passphrase is like giving away your online banking username, password, and the transaction codes all in one go. Yeah. So there's no blame on the core team. There is simply human error. Yeah. So Anyway, with that, I forgot to switch back here. So that was actually the comment I was addressing. So unfortunately, the speaker hasn't taught us how to do blah, blah, blah. So that's what we were just talking about. Yeah. Anyway, so with that, circle back here. Again, I'm losing my voice. So that's it for today. Very important. Yeah, Irina says, give the stream a thumbs up. Makes a huge difference for the stream. And thanks for stopping by. I hope you were able to get some of the answers you were looking for. Join us on Discord, join our streams tomorrow. Don't miss the stream on Thursday, so in 2 days when Pi gets listed. And have a great rest of the day, and then see you in one of my other streams, one of my other videos on Discord, or that's pretty much it. So till then, bye-bye guys.